Well, going everybody, this is your boy Rome. Welcome back to the fourth official. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new.
Hex I try explain. Tell me no why you're none for stress my brain. Me hex them still a text and still a try for explain. See me on the right, girl. Better take the left lane. Hex I try explain.
The day after the night that was, and yesterday was a big game. The build-up was huge. It was first against second. Manchester United versus Liverpool, the old rivalry renewed. All that stuff was going on, and I was excited for the game. I really was. I was up in army camouflage. I was ready for this. I was up for this game, and it disappointed in many ways. We knew how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to set up. With Fred in the midfield, McTominay and Fred. He was going to play Bruno, of course, and he slid Pogba right there on the right-hand side just to get some additional creativity. It kind of worked in his regard, meaning he wanted to get Liverpool on the counter because they were there to be had. They play a high line. Liverpool had majority of the ball, 66% of the ball, and so it made our creativity side of our team seem lackluster. Meaning, Bruno is getting all sorts of slack after the game for not showing up, but we didn't have the ball for him to show up. And the few times he had the ball, he had a little bit of time to create something. He was clearly under instructions to get the ball, get it over the top to Rashford or Martial to run on. And a lot of times he tried that and it didn't come off. Pogba had a strong game. We talk so much about how the team performed, but Manchester United really created the better chances. I don't think anyone on the Liverpool team had a clear-cut chance, aside from that one half shot that Salah got that deflected off Maguire and went wide. Liverpool didn't really create a clear-cut chance to goal. Maguire had that block on Firmino right there in the second half that went out for an actual goal kick for Man United as well. So it really wasn't a game of a lot of chances, but the chances that were created came from Man United pressing Liverpool and going up to the score. Pogba arguably should have scored. It went straight to the keeper. Bruno, I don't think he had a lot of time to get his feet underneath him properly, set up for that cross from Luke Shaw, and it kind of went straight to the keeper. Good save by Alisson though. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this reaction video today as opposed to yesterday was, one, I was mad as hell because I really wanted to win that game. I went on the football terrace last night. It was a good show. Midnight Vibes with KJ. Big up yourself. And so today, one of the things that's going on football Twitter right now is this talk about Bruno not showing up on big games and Bruno not doing this. Bruno is a creator. All right. Last year, January, we played Burnley and Liverpool this time last year, and they both beat us. 2 weeks later, they bought Bruno Fernandes. Since then, we have not lost an away game. We have been the team since January last year that accumulated the most points in the league. Consistently, we've been winning once we've got Bruno. He has single-handedly transformed this Manchester United team. And so for them to start blaming Bruno for not having good games amongst the top 6 teams is crazy, because one of the biggest thing that we found while that Bruno has been playing in this team is that you give him the ball on his feet, he could create something. Bruno doesn't need a lot of time to make plays. He doesn't need a lot of time to get assists. He's already thinking about what he needs to do and how he needs to do it before he gets the ball. But the problem is, if you don't have players around him making those runs and making themselves available, those things are not going to come off, right? And so when you play Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, and you play 2 defensive midfielders in Scott, McTominay, and Fred, these guys are told to sit back, kick back and relax and defend and protect the back 4, which means that Bruno has no one running next to him to take a player off of him, and he doesn't have a lot more movement up front. You got to understand that every position on the team plays its part defensively and in an attack, right? If you're Martial and you're on the ball on the left-hand side and you have 2 players defending you, and then Luke Shaw makes an overlap and runs down behind him, that means that left back will now have to follow Luke Shaw, which now frees up a lot more space for Martial to either dribble in the box, make a quick pass, or even give that ball to Luke Shaw. So every player's position on the team, right, it creates more space for other players. Now, if Bruno gets the ball in the midfield, the top of the half line, and he has 3 players around him, and then the other 2 midfielders are just sitting there in front of defenders and not moving forward. Now these 3 defenders that are marking Bruno has nothing to do but to mark Bruno Fernandes, right? Because these guys not making move for them to take the player away from Bruno. Going on and blaming Bruno Fernandes for the poor form that we've shown against the top 6 is just ridiculous, man. It's stupid. It's just people searching and is constantly looking for someone to blame. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely stupid. Now, Bruno is not blameless in all of this, and we know that he makes mistakes. That's what he does. He's a creator. He's a number 10 that goes in and takes risks, and more times than not, it comes off. More times it doesn't. But that's what we've been screaming for in this Manchester United team forever, bruv. We've not had a number 10 who's able to make those plays, and get around the defenders and score goals. You got to remember, we have forwards that relies on a number 10 that plays quick 1-2 passes, right? We've just recently got Cavani, who Cavani can rely on a crossing because his movement in the box is amazing. But we've always been working with Rashford and Martial, and those guys work on their pace and their close control plays to make something happen. And that's what you need a Bruno for, a number 10 who can play that 1-2 passes a little bit over the top for them to run onto. And if that's the type of football we play, that's why it was essential that we got Bruno. So why are you guys complaining right now? I don't get it. That's what he does. You see what I'm saying? You don't walk up to a eunuch and be like, hey, didn't I see you at an orgy last night? No, you don't do that because the man's not going to be at a fucking orgy. So you don't look at Bruno Fernandes, whose job is to make chances, create plays, take risks, and say, why are you losing the ball so much? These men are stupid, yo. These people right now who have been watching football all their lives and say they're from England, so all they do is watch football, and yet they're talking about all sorts of smack about Bruno losing the ball. You're supposed to be an OG. You're meant to be an OG. You're meant to know the game as best as anyone else. But you're one of them men that think wine makes grapes, bro, because you're just thinking backwards. You don't make sense. And let's spare a second, and talk about Rashford, right? And let's talk about Rashford's ability to make decisions in critical times of the games. And his decision making is absolutely tragic. It's absolutely masterfully tragic when it comes to certain parts of the game. I'm going to tell you why. I could point you to about 4 times this season, not including yesterday, when Rashford has done awesome work to get on the ball, get up past the defender, and got himself in a position where he has 2 options. The better option, obviously, is to pass to his teammate, and the other option is to try to take a shot. And he goes for the difficult option in shooting and not necessarily going for the pass, which will set up a perfect goal for his teammate. Rashford's decision-making this season has been horrible, and he's always had that issue, right? And it just seems that he's going for glory as opposed to having the team get glory. And this is not just today, it's not just yesterday, it's been going on. He's selfish in those kind of ways, and it's not helping us, and it's not going to help us moving forward. The other person that has that trait is Mason Greenwood. It's an awesome trait to have as a striker, to know, listen, as soon as I get this ball and I'm in the box, I'm going for goal. But for you to be a world-class striker, you have to know when to make that decision to shoot or pass. You see this a lot with players like Mane and Salah last year when they were playing. They were sharing the ball a lot, and they were sharing the glory a lot. And that's what we're struggling with right now. I cannot for the life of me understand why Marcus Rashford did not pass the ball to Cavani yesterday. It is absolutely beyond me. And there are other times when Marcus Rashford was on him and Martial right there for him to pass the ball, and he just chose not to. It's beyond me why this man has not decided, why his decision making has been so shabby. And why, the biggest thing is, why is he not learning, right? It seems like you've made these mistakes over the past, but you're not learning from these decisions that you've made. Understand, this is not coming from a place of hatred or agenda for Marcus Rashford. It's solely coming from a place of affinity and love for the player. He gets himself in positions time after time where he uses his skill and his pace to get past players, to get himself in positions to score or set up his teammate. And he always chooses the wrong decision at that time. It hurts to know that he's not improving over a period of time, meaning you're making mistakes in games, and I'm pretty sure they're analyzing these games, and if they're not, they need to be fired. The coach, the manager, all these guys are analyzing these games and looking at videos of what you've been doing wrong and having you improve on it. You need to start making proper decisions in these games, because this could be the difference between coming 4th or first this season, 1 or 2 goals when you're playing against the top 6. You might be able to get away with it with the smaller teams because then we're going to create a lot more. But in games against Liverpool, when you're only going to get 1 or 2 chances per game, you have to capitalize on this. Now, Rashford's opportunity that he got to play into to Cavani it didn't even go down as a chance in the game because he didn't allow it to do so. Cavani was running past him. Had he played that ball to Cavani, bro, had he played that ball to Cavani, and he continued his run to the right, Cavani would have had 2 options. Go for goal, depending on how close Fabinho was to him, or play it back to Rashford, which he would have had a one-on-one chance, bro. So the point I'm making is great players make plays for their teams and themselves at the same time. Had that been a Ronaldo, R9, it would have been totally different. World-class players make plays for their teams and themselves. You having a defender in front of you and one to your right and trying to dribble through them just says to me that all you want is a glory, bro. You don't care about anything else. You want to be the one that goes on that got the winner against Liverpool as the leaders for the league. Manchester United was supposed to win, not Rashford. I love you, bro, but get your shit together, bro. Side note, too, as well. Let's put up a prayer for Jurgen Klopp, bro. Or whatever the fuck his name is, bro. This man came out complaining, moping and doping. Oh my God, I know what I have to do to keep my job. I have to come